Hi, my name is Alexi Lubomirski and we're in Rome, and today we're going to talk about how I got started as a photographer. Whenever I do talks at schools, the first question I always get asked is, how did you get started as a photographer? So when I was at university doing photography, we had a visiting lecturer, and that person came in, they were very negative, they were saying none of you are going to work, and he kept flapping around this piece of paper. So when he went for the bathroom break, I went up to the podium, I stole the piece of paper and I photocopied it, and it was basically a piece of paper with a list of photo agencies, magazine contacts, lots of industry addresses. Cut. Let's just check we're going the right way. We actually want to go that way. Yeah, we want to go this way. So I photocopied this piece of paper. It turned out to be a couple of pages from this thing called Le Book, which is basically a list of lots of photo agencies, magazine agencies. Magazine agencies doesn't make sense. So I took 2 weeks off college. I went to work double shifts in my pub on the beach to get enough money so that I could go to London and couch surf for a week. And I wanted to see every single person on that list, and there were like 75 people on that list. I didn't know anything about portfolios, and I thought that it'd be okay if I just photocopied all my work from school on a color photocopier, reduced to a size of a picture this big, put into a tiny book so I could put it in my pocket, so I wouldn't have to carry around anything heavy. So I went to everybody on this list. I went to go and see photo agents, I went to go and see stylists, I went to go and see magazines, I went to go and see studio reps. I had no appointments, and I just knocked on the door and said, listen, I'm a student, can you please tell me what I need to do to my work for you guys to hire me when I come out of university in 6 months' time? Of course, everybody slammed the door in my face. Out of 75 people, 5 people actually sort of allowed me through the door to talk to me about my work. One was a very young photographer called Tim Walker, who had just become a photographer, who is now a huge photographer. And he was very nice. He took me for a coffee and explained how the whole photography thing worked. After a week of having the door slammed in my face, I was so downtrodden. Did you say disencouraged? Discouraged. I was so discouraged at the end of the week that there was one more person on my list, and I thought, I've got to go and see this person. But it was at the end of the day. She would have probably left the office by the time I got there. I didn't really want to get the door slammed in my face one more time. But I thought, if I don't go and see this person, I'm going to regret it. So I jumped off the train, I went all the way across London, I caught her as she was just coming out of the office, and it was a photo agent called Camilla Lowther, who is a huge photo agent, and she took pity on me. She looked at my little portfolio, my little photocopy book, and started laughing because she thought the pictures in it were quite funny. And she said, you're not good enough to be a photographer, but you should be an assistant, and I know Mario Testino is looking for somebody. So the next day I was in front of Mario Testino's house in London. I knocked on the door and so scared because he was this huge photographer. I didn't know anything about him. My mother's Peruvian, he's Peruvian, so we had a little connection, and that was it. I got the job and we worked together for 4 years, and it was incredibly intense 4 years. We worked every single day. When Mario woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, we were there, and when he went to bed at 11 o'clock at night, we were there. So we did this for 11 months of the year. We had August off, and but we traveled the world every day. Every day? Every single day. It was really weird. We would travel around the world, from Brazil to Scotland to South Africa to Brazil. For example, I'm standing here in front of the Spanish Steps in Rome. We shot with Mario a story for US Vogue millions of years ago with Carmen Cass, and she was standing right on that balcony up there. So when I was with Mario, there were 3 assistants, and I came on as the second assistant, and no, that's bullshit, I didn't do that. After about 6 months, I became second assistant, and then I stayed second assistant for the next 3.5 years. I never made it to first assistant. It really annoyed me. So because we were working so much, like every single day we were shooting with Mario, so I didn't get any chance to do any tests. I think every time you tried to sort of organize a test for that weekend, all of a sudden Mario would say, hey, guess what? We're shooting tomorrow in Dublin or in Paris, so everything got cancelled all the time. So then I think in 4 years I managed to do 3 test shoots by myself. The first test shoot I had way too many ideas going on and it all went. The second one I had no money for lighting, so we had to go to a blacked out bathroom and we did 20-second exposures, and in that 20 seconds I got a little pen torch and I would paint light on the model. So I'd get completely random lighting, but it turned out somehow amazingly. I showed it to a fashion editor called Katie Grand, who was working at Pop magazine, and she loved it and she published it in Face magazine. So that was my first ever published story and was really the kickstart to my whole career. When I left Mario, obviously it went from working every single day of the year to working 1 day a month. So I had to get very sort of creative with my time, do lots of research. I was very, very ambitious. I was very sort of proactive. I went to see everybody with my book. I went to try to make as many contacts as possible. I pushed ideas on magazines, I pushed ideas on stylists, and bit by bit, I started getting a few jobs here and there. Then after 2 years in England, getting as much editorial as I could, I then moved to New York City. Was very, very lucky to get my first cover for Harper's US. That was about 11 years ago. And then ever since then, I just kept working and I've been extremely lucky. So after all this, my advice to anybody who wants to become a photographer is to assist. You're going to learn so much on set that you can't learn in school. You know, on set you're going to learn about the networking, about how business is done, how to talk to models, how to talk to celebrities, how to work with your team as a team. Meet as many people as possible. Ask as many questions as possible. Go and talk to 1,000 people about how they got started. It doesn't matter how many doors get slammed in your face. It only takes one person to sort of make a difference. If I hadn't met Camilla Lowther when I was going around London, she wouldn't have introduced me to Mario Testino. If I hadn't worked with Mario Testino, then I wouldn't have met Katie Grand. If I hadn't met Katie Grand, she wouldn't have put my work into the Face magazine and Harper's Bazaar. So it's all these succession of sort of lucky opportunities, but you have to work hard so that you're ready for these opportunities. So when they arrive, you can hit the ground running.